Hello and welcome. My name is Darren, and today we're going to talk about upscalers. This is a subject that seems to trigger a lot of people. So I'm going to use this game as an example. Every game is different. Some games will perform better, some games will perform worse. But there seems to be a lot of arguments I see in various social media. So comments on YouTube, videos on YouTube, Facebook groups, Discords, Reddit, just everywhere. There's a lot of arguments over the use of upscalers in games. I personally, I don't see a problem using upscalers at all. I tend to use quite a lot of upscalers. I do play in 4K, so I'm going to use this game as an example to show my point of view, maybe. As I say, not every game's the same. This game's probably quite a good example in a certain area where I'm at, where I can kind of show my views and how I feel about using upscalers and the reason why I tend to use upscalers. So we'll get into it. I'm on Starfield. I'm running a 4080 with a 13700K, and we are playing at 4K, so we're going to start off at native. In fact, I'll quick run you through the settings, just so we're clear. So we are 4K. Render resolution scales obviously at 100 is grayed out at the moment. So we are ultra on everything that can be. Motion blur is off. VSync is off. We have anisotropic at 16 times. We have no upscaling. So, as I say, running native, and we'll have a look, see how it looks. Hopefully this will come across on YouTube, but after the time it's been compressed, it's a lottery. So we'll have a quick look around. We'll stay in the same area. We'll have a quick look around. This shows off. It's quite a good area to actually see a lot of different things. So we've got some texture here that we can see, which is quite pronounced wood grain texture on this seat. We can see some kind of markings in it. We've got ground textures with a bit of shadow in them. It's a good image, good picture. But probably this is a good place to show it, where it does suffer is in these finer details. Fence post railings, that type of thing. So as we can see in the picture behind this person here, it's quite noisy. As we zoom in, we notice these railings can be a little bit, they're moving around a little bit, let's say, a bit of flickering. Not too bad, but then there's something strange going on with the stairs over there. And then there's maybe a little bit in the back of these railings back here. So I think that shows off this image quite well. See some detailing on the post, that kind of metallic look to it. Yeah. So let's try. We've got a few options here. So let's go into settings, and we will try probably something that we're going to go a little bit more demanding than native. So we can try DLSS at DLAA. So this will actually give me a bit of a performance hit rather than a gain. Normally not by much, but it should maybe improve some of those parts of the image. So we'll check that out. So yeah, we've taken like 1 or 2 FPS hit, nothing crazy. You can already see straight away on these railings back here, much more stable. Still a little bit of flicker when you zoom in. Over here, very stable. Hardly anything there now. I think it's more from the movement of the character. We've still kept this wood grain texture. We've kept the markings in it, as we can see. Ground textures. It's kind of metallic texture that we can see from a bit of a distance in this lamppost. So yeah, that's quite a nice image. And I'd say it's an improvement over native. So now the next step is to get into the argument of where the upscalers generally get used for extra performance. So let's check that out. We will try DLSS set to quality mode. I mean, I don't tend to, I think in Cyberpunk I'll run it down to balanced, and in balance mode I actually think it looks pretty good in there, but in Cyberpunk, if you're using heavy ray tracing or even path tracing, you don't have much choice. But in general I'll probably stick to quality. And the same if I'm running at 1440p. If I have to, I'd use quality. At 1440p, I probably wouldn't really want to go down to balanced, whether it be on the NVIDIA side or the AMD side. So yeah, we'll run this down to quality. As you can see, we've dropped our resolution scale to 67%. And we'll check this image out. We should get a performance boost. So yeah, we've added some performance, and I think you can see that we've got a tiny bit of movement back here. If I zoom in, maybe a little bit. I think it's better than native, probably not as good as DLAO. Bit of a crazy character going on there, but so over here, you can see again, this is probably quite clean. I'm quite happy with that. It's not really flickering, there's a little bit of movement in the image. Over there you can just see in these fine details over there, maybe a bit of movement, but I don't think it was any more than what we had at native. If anything, it might be better than native, so we'll flick back to native quickly after this just to check. We've got these textures that we've remained in the seat. You can see we've got these kind of markings. Yeah, off you go. So we have these type of, you can kind of see these grooves or scratches that look like they've been put on the seat surface. Texture of the wood grain, ground textures. We still have this like metallic texture down the lamppost. So yeah, we've got a gain in performance, and I'd probably say in image stability. I think we've got a bit of a gain in image stability there as well. So I don't personally think that I've lost quality in my image. So we'll quick go back to native. So we're off, we're back to render resolution scale of 100%. And yeah, I think there's, I think it's probably quite clear to see now, there's a little bit, maybe not on YouTube, but there is now a little bit more noise. There's a bit of noise you can see through these glass panels in the kind of water reflections. There's definitely a bit more noise around these railings and above them. Probably a little bit more in these far distant railings over here. Textures again. So I don't think that there's a noticeable certainly anything that I'd argue about, a noticeable difference between native and quality upscale, certainly in this game in this area. And lastly, we'll try FSR. So here we don't get a choice to go over or choose a preset, we have to use a resolution scale. So we'll take that down to 67%, which will be quality upscale at 4K. As you can see, we've got similar performance of the DLSS. But you'd probably say now we've got quite a lot of noise now. We've definitely brought more noise into this area. Yeah, there's maybe not so much. When you zoom in, there's quite a lot of noise going on through this water reflections. And there's visibly, without zooming in, there's a fair bit around here, up into that sign area. We are probably a little bit noisy, certainly zoomed in, probably getting into, it seems like we've brought maybe forward a little bit more of this anti-aliasing has come forward into the picture. So it's quite noisy around here, certainly when zoomed in. Maybe a bit down there at that further image. Textures are still good. We can still see these kind of grooves that we had in this seat. Everything else looks very similar. Ground textures look similar. Take a look up at this fence post. Still got this type of metallic look to it. So I wouldn't say much. I don't think we've lost any image quality as such with FSR either. It's done a good job from what I can see. When you're talking image quality loss, you're only going to see that if you have, the opportunity to have 3 pictures right next to each other, zoomed in probably. You're not playing the game like that. Well, I'm certainly not playing the game like that. So I think it's fair to say here that we can see why there's arguments over the use of upscalers, but at the same time we can see, well, certainly I can see in this instance how certain people will stand by sometimes the use of upscalers does look better than native, and there is a big argument that that is a lie and native is king and nothing can be better than native. Now, for me personally playing this game, I'm within, let's go back, so if I take that back to 100% and we take upscaling off, so we're back to no upscaling. Now, I am screen recording at the minute, I'm running screen capture, so I'm going to be, if I turn off screen recording, I'm going to be 60 FPS, probably a bit over that. Now with frame generation, I'm able to, I'm in the frame generation window, so I'm able at the moment, if I want extra performance, I can easily just throw on frame generation. I've got a base frame rate, I'm good to go. But seeing this image as it is, like I said, we're at native at the moment, and it's certainly not a clean, pristine image. We'll go back to quality mode. So we'll go back to DLSS, back to quality, and although again, I'm not going to say this is perfect, there is a bit of movement back there, but I think it's better than native. Now, someone could tell me that I've lost quality within my image somewhere. Okay, that's fine, but I'm not ever running 2 images side by side and I see free performance here. I actually think the image looks more stable, so I do believe I have better anti-aliasing. and anything that I have lost within the textures or somehow within the quality of my image, I can't see it. I'd have to have the other image, the other native image, the whole time playing the game, running side by side, to justify that statement. So I can understand the argument where some people will say, for these reasons, for this stability, where people will say sometimes an upscaled image does look better than native. And I think this game does, certainly in this area, show that off quite well. So yeah, if you enjoyed this content, thank you for watching. Maybe like, maybe subscribe, and yeah, thank you for watching.